What is going on YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers, your one-stop shop for financial freedom. Guys, a lot to cover today, the Sunday kickoff show. I know a lot of people are going to be watching football and things, so want to get this video out for you. Now, the equities markets are closed. Futures will be opening on SimpleFX at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens because you saw what happened Friday. Red day. The Dow dumped more than 1,000 points. Ray Dalio's hedge fund came out on Yahoo Finance. They said they expect another 20% to 25% downside. We're going to look at this in the charts, guys. We're going to talk about what's going on. We had a lot of news items to cover too. President Biden is forgiving student loan debt, and that's estimated over 10 years to potentially go up to $1 trillion. So we'll just throw another trillion on top of the 30 trillion the U.S. has in debt. This is very inflationary. As a matter of fact, the anti-inflation bill that he passed and signed, or his party passed and signed, is estimated by the Congressional Budget Office, which is nonpartisan, to add $60 billion in taxes to the middle class. So guys, if you already paid your student loans, if you have never gone to university because you started your own business, you own a cafe or a series of restaurants, landscaping company, you're a construction person or a plumber, whatever, any other trade, a yoga studio, well, you're now paying for certain people's college tuition, which by the way doesn't fix the actual problem of ridiculous tuition. Why is it ridiculous tuition? Because the government guarantees all the loans, so these universities and colleges can charge whatever the hell they want to charge. And it's very inflationary, everything that's happening in the marketplace. Remember, inflation moves in waves. I am not going to be surprised if within the next few months we get a spike up in inflation again. So something I want you guys to understand before we dive into these charts. You know, we've had, going back the last, I don't know, roughly 80 years, I think it is, 80, 90 years, we've had inflation above 5% 9 times. Every single time we've had inflation above 5%, we've had a recession. This is a very key concept, especially my friends here in crypto, you need to understand. This will be the 10th time. And you can easily argue that recession's already started to 2 negative quarters of GDP print, okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing this topic up is A, highly unlikely you get any type of soft landing. And as you guys know, I believe we are trading in a massive bubble, at a minimum, a two-prong bubble, which would be housing and equities, okay? We've never had that happen in the history of our country, a multi-prong bubble. And you can throw in bonds in there, and you could have thrown in cryptos, but that's pretty much, you know, we're down 70+%. So we've never had a multi-pronged bubble. We know Japan did in '89. We know their stock market and housing market to this day still hasn't reached a new all-time high. We know all these factors, guys, but the reason I want to bring up the thing about the recession, 9 times we've had a recession. The average declination in stocks in the S&P when we have a recession is 35%. I think that we're going to look at the S&P. I think it's down, what, 15%? So it has another minimum 20% to decline, guys. And being the fact that this is a bubble, you know my number. At a minimum, we're getting down to minus 50%. And again, this could take many months to play out. Doesn't mean we're going there next week. But just keep that in mind as a backdrop. 9 times inflation over 5% in this country. Every single time we had a recession. There's more downside to come. I think this recession is going to be really deep and really, really nasty. We have energy crisis in Europe. We have a lot of different things going on, global macroeconomic space, bad economies everywhere, 40-year high inflation across the globe in various countries. Argentina, 70, 80%, Turkey. You guys know, the UK's hitting 40-year highs, as is America, still at 8.5. So lots of different conditions to consider, guys. So what does this mean as a trader? Well, as a trader, we want to make money. Nobody is going to help you. The government's not going to help you. Your next door neighbor's not going to help you. Your favorite political party doesn't care about you. If you want to find financial freedom, you have to do it yourself. If you don't want to spend the time to learn to be a trader or investor, it is best you do not start at all. That's Richard Wyckoff. This takes time, this takes effort, this takes education, guys. We offer those education services in our room on our Discord. We have live streams, did a live stream twice there this past week. We have other professional traders there. We provide trade signals and the skill set you can use as building blocks to become good traders. That's the join button underneath this video. Guys, if you want to trade these equities, if you want to trade these commodities, check out our sponsors. This is what pays the bills, my friends. If you're going to trade, I would ask that you use our platforms to support our channel, and please do like and subscribe because it does help in the algorithm. All the good information for everything is in the video description, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. Guys, Bitcoin, so this pattern, Dante's Descent. Okay, Dante's Divine Comedy. Dante had 3 different levels in his Divine Comedy. He had Inferno, he had Purgatorio, and he had Paradiso. Okay, so for those of you in America and the UK, this would be hell, this would be purgatory, and this would be paradise or heaven. Now, it seems like it would be reversed, right? But if you think about it from a trading perspective, why would this be hell? Because everybody right here, they were thinking what? Boom, 200K Bitcoin. So this was hell. Okay, now you're in purgatory over here. Why are you in purgatory? Because you have no idea what's happening in the marketplace. Bulls are still super bullish. Bears want this thing to go down. Purgatory. And why is this paradise down here? This is paradise because if you accurately track the market with TA, with your own skill set, you pay attention to macro events, this is going to allow you to capture this final move down and then that move back up, guys. This is why this is heaven or paradiso. Okay, so Dante's Descent is what I have named this pattern. Dante's Descent. Really like it, and you see it here. The 11 bar drop, 9 bar run up, 20 bars across the top, guys. We've repeated this twice, looking for the third. The law of 3 brings us to October 31st. Be ready on Halloween. And you can see Bitcoin already here on the weekly time frame descending. Remember the maths. The maths. We say math in America, but our British friends say maths. The maths. These descents get you down almost perfectly to the dollar, the 1618, 10,591 on October 31st. And again, this can go lower, and if the markets are dropping, it will go lower, or it can stay higher if the markets find stability. But what we do know is this candle here should provide us with a bottom, and then we will have a move up, and based on this ascension rise, if we do hit the 10,591, that move up will get you up to about 15x. Okay, so that'll be a nice 45% move up off of our base, wherever that base may be, and we shall see how this plays out. Let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin on the daily, guys. Bitcoin on the daily. So again, here's the same pattern, Dante's Descent. You can see the declination. Remember, 417 is the key number here. We have 139 bars between tops, and you have the different market run-ups here of 64 bars, 57 bars, 61 bars. Totaling in the bottom, totaling in the top, you have 417 all around. Watch those videos from last week, the Bitcoin bottom, exact Bitcoin bottom videos. You'll see 2 of them, and one's on the daily, one's on the weekly, and you'll see the maths for this as well. Again, October 31st, guys. January 1st will be the next local top. October 31st is the next local bottom. This thing is tracking gorgeous. Let's go ahead and look at some daily TA. Daily TA. So I went ahead and threw a GAN fan on here. You can see we are hovering on the 45, guys. The 45 angle, we are just holding on for dear life. Where could this go? Look, you know, we got to see what the markets do next week when they open. Even tonight will give you a hint. If they're red, you know, we could see some more selling at the open. We could see a continuation of the heavy selling from Friday, or we could start to see some people buying. Algo's kicking in. People like the deals they're getting. We shall see what happens. But trust me when I say that's going to provide you with direction of Bitcoin. Those markets have a repeat of Friday. This is what Bitcoin did, guys. The Bitcoin can do the same thing again. So we shall see how they open. But just looking here at the daily, guys, we can do a couple different things with the trend-based fib. We can go ahead and get upside projections if this was to start rebounding and moving up. I mean, your 382 is at 22,710, 0.5, 23,611, 618 at 24,512. I don't see those being hit right now. I mean, you're really struggling here to get any type of support. So, you know, another thing we can do here is take that peak. Let's go to this trough here for that descent and come back up to that peak. Here we're on the daily time frame again, guys. We are between the 382 and the 0.5, okay? 618 is at 19,131. We've talked about this before. You have a lot of volume support down here at 19,131. The 1 fib's at 17,427, basically bringing you back to your base. 1618 would be 14,670. I would suggest you watch these numbers if Bitcoin does start to fall, if the markets are red. Let's go ahead and look at our VPVR here. Look and see where this peak volume is for this trading range. Remember, we don't have anything here to compare this to unless you go back to the beginning of the bull run. So I want to see this peak range here. And you can see this is going to be heavy resistance to your rise at 21,282. This is your peak volume for the range. Okay, so if you do see some type of move up, pay attention to this. You can see how accurately these GAN fans are tracking as well. They're giving you this grid layout structure. So let's see what else we have here, guys. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Let's look at our Ichi on the daily, see how we're doing here. We haven't looked at Ichi in a while. You know, we have the Kumo twist right here. But again, you'd have to get bullish. That market conditions aren't there. You're not going to see Bitcoin get bullish if the markets dump. It's just not going to happen. Remember, the big players control the crypto space. The big players view this as a risk-off asset. Okay, so the markets have to be bullish for Bitcoin to have some moves as well. You can see how thin this cloud is becoming, but you've got to see the direction of the markets, and we shall see. Let's look at the money flow. Money flow is bearish or under resistance of the EMA cloud. Volume trend is bearish as well in time segmented volume. So, you know, everything looks bearish and everything's going to hinge on the market. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So I went ahead, this is the daily, but I expanded it here so you can see it through the GAN fan here, the same GAN fan, and you can see, look how beautifully this is tracking. And you have, this is what I want to see, is this. I want to see an impact with this, okay? This is the trade that I am wanting to take when Bitcoin at some point does recover, whether it falls down more and we have to wait longer and these come down with it. The 150, the 200, and the 233, I want to see this trade, okay? I want to see that combating go on, the battle here, and then the declination from that battle. That's what I would like to see, so I'm waiting to see that. As of right now, let me go ahead and zoom in on this on the 4-hour time frame, guys. You can see we got oversold here, coming up to the EMA cloud. I don't see any particular trade setup that I like here. Now, I trade in these larger time frames. 4 hours really the smallest time frame I trade in. We have scalpers in the room, guys. We have scalpers in the room that are just crushing it, doing 15-minute time frame, 30-minute, 1 hour. So you should definitely consider checking out the room if you are an active trader. I'm a swing trader. So I'm looking at here, as you can see, we have this previous Wyckoff trading range, the current Wyckoff trading range. We just got volatility. You're just bouncing up and down here. Very narrow, very tight range. Speaking of which, we should check. Let's go ahead and check our Caterpillar because we need to make sure it hasn't expanded, which I don't see any reason why it would have yet. Every time I do that, I don't see why it would have yet, but let's check it right here. Starting to open up. You see this? The bottom is starting to open up, guys. Your downward move looks like it may be beginning. And again, you could rebound back up, but when you start to get expansion, you can move in a wave fashion just like this. You can move up and then down, okay? But just be aware of this. Remember, the tightest expansion since the beginning of the bull run, if this thing opens up, I mean, this thing could easily bring you down to that 14,670. Declination. Seems like that'd be really fast. It seems like Dante's descent would be speeding up if we get down to that 14K level. But as we're talking, we are below 20K. Okay, we're below 20K. So we'll see, guys. I want to track that pattern very closely. So this is what I'm looking at on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go ahead and bounce over to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, guys. So Nasdaq, I went ahead and threw on my price pulse pattern because we did get our 50% retracement, which means we will be starting on the ABC correction pattern. Again, GAN market pattern. So this will be the beginning of the A wave here. You can see on the weekly time frame dropping. I expect potentially some level of support there, which is 12,002 to 12,003, but maybe not. Might fall right through the 150, but we'll see if we get a little bounce there on the weekly. Where I do expect to see a rally, guys, is right right here at the 0.5, 10,855. Also the 200, 233. Your 300 is down here. So in other words, you can come down, maybe come up a little bit, a candle, come back down, come up, come back down, and this could be a nice rally, another nice move up, maybe 10, 15, 20% rally again. Nice big rally before the next leg down again. So looking at this on our actual trade setup, guys, the Nasdaq. And for those of you that don't trade equities, I'm not here to sales pitch you to tell you to trade other things other than crypto. You know, crypto allowed me to retire. The people in the room know that story. You know, I came here in May of last year, and within 6 months I was done working. After 13 years as a vice president, I was done. Okay, so it allowed me to retire in 6 months. But you know, these moves that you get in these indexes, guys. And I'm like the index whisperer with these trade setups, okay? I just want to show you what one of our members posted based off my Nasdaq short here. So this was his percentage gain from shorting the Nasdaq, 6,371.77%. This doesn't look like a big move to crypto, people. You can make a lot of money trading the indices, and this is only an 8.56% move. Guys, check out SimpleFX in the video description, up to a $5,000 deposit bonus, which is instant. You don't have to earn it. They don't play any games. You deposit the correct amount. It's all listed there in the video description. You get it instantly credited to your account, and you can trade these equities with us, guys. So definitely give them a look. And so this is where we're at here. And look at the, you know, the way this closed. These indices push down hard into the close. Okay, and if you look at this here, what's happening? You don't have a demand wick yet. Now that's not to say the new candle won't open up and just sit here and start going up a little bit. But this was a forceful close. Okay, this was a momentum move into the close, and you land it right to the 618, 12,545 on my pattern, guys. And this is at 12,544.6. Do you see why I love fibs so much? Do you see why I love fibs? Within $1, the exact level. And so many guys, and this is, you guys hear me say this all the time, do this on YouTube. Well, we got support down here, and they draw a big box, right? And they're like, oh, we got support here, and this is going to be resistance up here, and this is up like this. You can get so close and get such good reads with a properly laid out fib. I highly suggest you guys understand the fib techniques. So again, if we don't hold 618, we're going to be moving down to the one fib at 11,817. Okay, that's what I'm looking for on the daily pattern. These are all trades that I still have open. And looking at the Russell, guys, remember the kissing cousins, Dante's descent. We have the same pattern here repeating. ABC price pulse is on here as well because we got a 50% retracement off of the initial all-time high. So we have our price pulse working on our beginning of our ABC correction. And again, the math of this is just beautiful market symmetry. So we've been averaging roughly a 23% down move. Okay, so the next down move of this wave should take us October 31st, the same weekly candle as Bitcoin, right? October 31st, because they made their all-time highs within 48 hours of each other, should take us to 1521. Based on the math of descent here. 23% down, 23% down, 23% down. You're going to 1521 by October 31st, and this is a nice start to kick it off for this A wave, okay? We'll be working on our ABC correction after our 1, 2, 3 price pulse. And of course, then if we average in the ascent, this will give us a rise. If we actually hit this target, roughly the same exact day as Bitcoin, this will be your next local top at about 18K. So got to see if these targets get hit. Dante's descent tracking absolutely beautifully. Remember, we got that one little flyer here. That one little flyer of $7 on this candle, but the tops match up beautifully, 20 bars between tops. I'm going to track this pattern as the kissing cousin to Bitcoin. Looking at the daily, guys, again, same type of force into the close. No wick on that candle, no demand wick. It was just dropping and pushing down. So we'll see where this goes. This looks to me, I mean, the Nasdaq was so forcefully moving down. I totally expect this to hit the 618. Nasdaq already hit the 618. You got your 50-day moving average coming up. This trade is golden. These are great trades, guys, especially if we do end up coming down. And look where that 1618 of the pattern is, guys. 1578. 15 is a symmetry in the marketplace. Projected down move based on your average of your 2 previous down moves gets you to 1521. You see that? And that is based off this ABC coming from the all-time high projected down 1521 and off my pattern 1578 to 1618. I expect this 1578 to be hit. Okay, maybe this will be hit way out here, but we shall see. October 31st, we shall see that descent, the bobbling up and down coming to that level. S&P, guys, the broader market, you can see we have our descent here on the weekly. We already used the 150 before, and we did fall below it. Again, you know, the S&P I expect to descend, and where it's going to find a big place to rally is at 200, 233, which is currently at 35.55. These will be slowly rising, so that is where I would expect the next big rally to generate from after the S&P declines roughly 550 points. So that is something to see if this plays out like that. S&P on our actual trade setup, this one broke the cleanest. I mean, literally just got a wick above the 200, fell apart. Guys, I want to show you something else. You know, VWAP strategies, algos, you know, 43% of the buying in these marketplaces and the indices are done by algos. Look at the heavy supply line. Look at that on that VWAP. Heavy supply line right across the 200 on all those indices, by the way, right across the 200, and boom, that's where the rejection was. That's where the rejection was. Heavy buy line right here at the 618, and that is at 39.74. I expect to see some type of retracement if we do come down to that 618 heavy supply or heavy buying line, demand line, maybe get our bounces up and then start seeing our dissension, because, you know, I expect, even though we don't have that candlestick pattern of Dante's descent on the S&P or on the Nasdaq, even though that pattern is not there, the Russell's not going to be moving down that low without some confluence from the other indexes, okay? So we're going to trade these with our other methods, Wyckoff, Fibonacci, things like that, and that's how we're going to trade these. But we do have this pattern going down to 34.06, so would not be surprised if sometime in November we see this number hit 34.06 after we do this dance up and down and you see the Russell and Bitcoin bottom out on Halloween. All right, guys, if you like this stuff, definitely like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I went over oil and the commodities on Friday or Thursday's video, so definitely check that out. And then, guys, I will see you next time. Enjoy your weekend and watch some football, have some fun. Check you out next time, guys. Good night and good luck. Take care, everybody.